Hi gardening friends, welcome back to Garden Avenue. Today we are in the kitchen and we're going to make bone broth. Now, I love bone broth when I am making stews, soups, gravies. It's the best. I think it has the strongest, richest flavor, and it is for sure the most nutrient dense of your broth options. Now, if you look at bone broth in the store, it's crazy expensive for a very small amount. And I don't think it tastes as good as if you make it yourself, but that might just be me. So today I'm making bone broth with some bones from our deer harvest last year. I've had them in the freezer. I also make bone broth with chicken bones, which I will probably make another video on chicken specifically. But today we're going to use the deer bones, and I use venison broth, probably interchangeable with chicken broth or beef broth, depending on the recipe. It's kind of a mild flavor and goes with either one. So first things we do is I take the bones and I roast them in the oven. I stick them in there for like 20 minutes at 375. It makes the flavors of the bones come out more in the broth. Just a thing. You can skip this step. It's not a big deal either way. I just like to do it. So the bones into the pot. Next up, we put veggies. So all of these vegetables are going to be strained out. So you don't need to peel them. You don't need to cut them in small pieces. I just cut them in big chunks and throw them into the pot. So we have celery. We have carrots. And some onions. So we have our bones in the pot, we have our veggies in the pot, and now we fill to cover with water. Okay. Last final step before we start boiling is a tablespoon of, this is garlic bouillon paste. You could just use garlic. You can skip this step completely, up to you. And I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of dried thyme. Now we turn on the burner, pop on the top, and we let it cook and cook and cook. The best bone broth cooks for the longest amount of time. I will let this sit and simmer on the stove. It'll come to a boil, I'll turn it down, get it to a nice simmer, and I will let it cook for probably 4 to 6 hours. I try to do the longest amount possible. Depending on the size of the bones, I have done it as long as 8 hours. You get more flavor the longer you cook it. So this is gonna simmer for a while, and I will see you when it's done. We are back. Our bone broth has been simmering on the stove for about 6 hours, maybe 7. I really watch for the bones to start to fall apart and all of the meat and muscle to come off of the bones, because then you really know that you've gotten all of the flavor and the nutrients and everything out of the bones and into your broth. So everything is cooked down. We are all ready to strain it. So I just put a strainer into another pot. I only have one super large pot, so I may need to put it in 2 pots. We're gonna see how much we've got. So very carefully going to take a look so I don't overflow my pot. All right, scraps in the garbage. Can fit a little bit more in there. Okay, just to be safe, I'm going to move on to pot number 2. All right, I could have done it all in this one. And here we have 1 large pot of bone broth. Now you have a couple options for storing. For the past couple of years, I have poured my broth into mason jars and put it in the freezer. You can also just make it as you're going to use it. Make it the day before, stick it in the refrigerator, use it in whatever stew, soup, or gravy you're going to the next day. It's good for about a week in the refrigerator, so if you're going to use it all up, you can just put it in the fridge and you've got about a week. If you have a pressure canner, as I just borrowed one from a friend, so I'm learning how to pressure can, you can pressure can bone broth in order to make it shelf stable. So that is what I'm going to try this year. I'm going to free up some space in my freezer and instead put my bone broth into the basement pantry. Those are your choices. You can keep it in the fridge for up to a week and just use it right away. You can freeze it, or you can pressure can it to keep it in your pantry. That is all there is to it. And like I said at the beginning, you can use chicken bones, you can use beef bones. This time around I used deer bones. Whatever you have, whatever you like most, it's up to you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I would love to talk cooking with you. If you like to garden, preserve, and cook, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, because those are all the things we do here on Garden Avenue. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Please like, subscribe, and share to this channel. Peace out.